Hi, my name is Davison, and I go by Abhi. Mr. Sunny Potin and the Houston Voice team has approached me and asked me to take some time and talk through my background and my experiences and talk a little bit about what I'm involved with, just to get some insight and see through a lens of a second generation Indian American, or more specifically a Malayali, that's been born and brought up here in the US and here in Texas. So I thank Sunny Uncle and the Houston Voice team for approaching me and for asking me to talk through this. And I look forward to sharing my perspective over the next few minutes. And I wish all the best for Houston Voice's continued efforts and endeavors. So at the onset, I'll talk a little bit about my professional background initially. I studied at the University of Texas at Austin, and after my graduation, I worked full-time for the management consulting industry. So I worked for a few different management consulting firms, and during that time, I had the opportunity to work in different sectors like oil and gas, or healthcare, or hospitality. And I was focusing on organizational change management in those industries. And I was a project manager for the organizational change management teams across those different industries and projects. So that was a great experience. Definitely learned a lot, and was definitely able to be a part of some neat initiatives. I stopped my corporate journey at the end of 2023. And from that point onwards, I became full-time in the entrepreneurial space and efforts. I have a residential general contracting company called Epiphany Home Services, and that company focuses on remodels and renovations and things of that nature. At the same time, we are also in the process of opening up a property restoration franchise, and that franchise is called Stematic. And we are opening up Stematic to serve the Missouri City, Sugar Land, and Pearland areas. And that franchise focuses on any sort of water damage, fire damage, or any sort of mold issues, anything that could be caused by things like a pipe burst that causes a flood buildup in your house, or an overflowing tub, or a persistent leak that causes water or mold issues, or any kitchen fire, any sort of fire that causes fire or smoke damage in the home. And so that franchise focuses on restoring that client's home to pre-loss conditions by using specialized equipment and specialized cleaning methods and cleaning equipment to restore that client's home to pre-loss conditions. And the franchise is able to work hand in hand with the consumer's insurance companies to ensure that the customer has the least amount of headache or out-of-pocket expense as possible. So we're in the process of opening up that franchise, and we're looking to be fully open and operational here shortly in the coming months. So on the professional side, that's what I've been doing, and that's what I'm currently doing and working towards as well. Uncle asked me to also talk a little bit about my involvement in our church ministry as well. And just like Sunny Uncle, I belong to the Church of South India here in Houston. I belong to St. Thomas CSI Church. It's been a huge blessing to be able to work hand in hand with Sunny Uncle and various people and the wider CSI community here locally and nationally as well. And so Uncle asked me to talk a little bit about the youth, or the second gen perspective, in regards to the CSI Church, in regards to the youth movement of the CSI Church. And so I've had the privilege of working in the CSI youth movement's efforts locally and nationally. And the CSI youth movement, really what we're working towards across the board, is really seeking to return to our roots as a CSI Church. The CSI Church, as we know, is a united and uniting church, and it is a missional and mission church. And we see that as it was established in India. We see it through the different establishments and initiatives that are ongoing in India. And we seek to live that out here. We seek to be a community here in North America where we establish ourselves as a strong church to edify our community and to have a strong Christ-centered and Christ-loving community. But we seek to also be a community and a people that is able to share that love and to share and to serve the people around those churches and around the community across the board and across our nation. We see that happening in India, and we seek to to live that out here. And I take us back to a vision statement that the youth movement released in 2017, where we explained just that, where we said that this is the future that we see for our church. We have a committed youth and young adult movement here, and we laid it all out in this 2017 vision statement, where we said we are committed to this church. We're staying in this church. And what we see our church doing and what we'd like to work towards and what we'd like to do as a movement here in North America is return to the CSI missional roots, to be able to be a church that serves our community in every city and every space that we are in. And so to do that, we started having different things in regards to the youth movement. We started having regional retreats and national youth conferences, studying what the gospel truly meant and how we could apply that in our everyday lives, and creating different initiatives for our youth movement to follow in our respective cities. And we hope that we can continue to build on that. And we can one day establish institutions and establishments that enable our churches to serve the community around them. And by doing that, share the love of God and the love of Christ to all those around them. And that through that love and through that service, they may encounter the unconditional love of Christ and the grace of Christ as well. So that's what we've been aiming towards and working towards as a youth movement. And there's a lot of steps to get there, and it'll take time. And we're looking to raise up second generation ministers, establish curriculum for the second generation. And we're in this pivotal time, right, where we are transitioning our council to our diocese establishment. And it is our hope that through a strong structure here, that we will have the ability to continue to create and enable and strengthen initiatives and establishments to nurture our church community at present, to nurture and raise up our second and succeeding generations, and to also enable the ministry around in and around the communities of each of our churches all across this nation as well. And so we definitely have work ahead to do in front of us, and we'll continue to work towards that. And we're requesting continued prayers and support from all of our community as well. And lastly, Uncle asked me to talk through a little bit about my recent visit to India. And at the end of January and into the beginning of February, I was able to spend a couple of weeks in India. And that was my first time going to Kerala in a very, very long time. And so Uncle asked me to talk through that, about that, what that experience was like, and contrasting that from my experiences here and things like that. It was definitely a great experience. I was so grateful that I was able to go see family and spend some time in India as well. And the pace of life is very refreshing. I find it to be a lot more laxed and less stress, and oriented around the things that are a priority for you, like your family or things like that. Obviously, there's many beauties here in America, and there's so much that we are grateful for and that we are blessed to have here in this country. But the atmosphere and the experiences are two different experiences. And so I just share that statement, just to acknowledge that and to share that as we compare the two. So it was definitely great to be able to go there and see our family's roots and spend time with loved ones there as well. And I tie this point also back to the earlier statement that I made. For me, being so involved in the CSI movement, especially in North America, it was great to see the CSI establishment had its roots in India, and see it in Kerala, and see the different establishments that are there that arm the church, that equip the church to serve its community, so that you see the churches there being a community that edifies its people, and then they go out and they edify their community, and they share that love of Christ to all those around them through their different institutions like hospitals or schools or things like that. And so that's the point I was trying to make earlier, where it is our hope and our goal that one day we'll get to that point here. And again, that's not an easy and overnight thing, but it is a goal that we can consciously work towards and take step by step. And even seeing the different seminaries, or you see the clergy that are there to serve in these different areas, shows that we are blessed with many clergy, and we are thankful for all of them that are able to come here and serve alongside us here. And we look forward to that continued partnership for the years to come. But it shows the need for us to also develop and nurture the clergy and the ministers here in this soil, to further our ministry in this context as well. That's so the thoughts that I had to share today. I once again thank Sunny and Cole and the Houston Voice team for approaching me and talking through these experiences as well. So thank you all, and may God bless.